The pandemic putting kids behind on key learning benchmarks, and now schools are working to support struggling students.
We're moving forward instead of going backwards, and that's really what we have to do.
From Fox 2 News, this is The 4 on KTVU Plus.
And welcome everyone to The 4 here on KTVU Plus today. I'm Alex Savage.
And I'm Heather Holmes. We're here on The Plus to bring you playoff baseball over on KTVU. And we begin this afternoon with that devastating learning gap students are still struggling to close following the pandemic.
And we went today to one of the Bay Area's largest school districts, Mount Diablo Unified, to look at the steps that are being taken to try to improve test scores. KTVU's Christina Rendon joining us now live from Concord with more on the effort to bring students up to grade level. Christina?
Well, Alex, Heather, we can tell you that this unique situation is not just here in Mount Diablo. It's happening at school districts across the state. And even though students are already back in classes this year, there is still a very long way to go. Melissa Sordi of Fairfield took her 3 children to Heather Farm Park in Walnut Creek Wednesday. They started homeschooling this year.
It's been wonderful. They took a swim class today. They trained for Ninja Warrior.
It's an option she chose after a rough patch during the pandemic of school closures and distance learning.
There were tears when my oldest was trying to get through the reading and typing, and it just wasn't what they were used to.
I could definitely tell the difference between, in person versus over Zoom.
According to the nonprofit group EdSource, recently released test scores from some of California's largest districts show steep drops in all grade levels from 2019 before COVID forced schools to shut down. The 2 biggest areas of drops in reading and math. In the Mount Diablo Unified School District, last year's test scores show 55% of students did not meet the standards for English language arts, and math was even lower at 65%.
We need to do better.
Superintendent Adam Clark is disappointed in the dips, but says standardized test scores aren't everything, pointing to things like social emotional learning.
I'm not surprised that there were dips because of the effects of the pandemic, affected different communities at different levels. And some of our underserved communities that have been underserved for a long time continue to be that way.
The data shows underserved communities have been hit hardest, with students of color testing lower, along with homeless and foster youth.
We don't refer to it as learning loss. We really want to refer to it as how can we accelerate learning. Let's say if you were in 3rd grade and you missed most of 3rd grade, we're not going back and reteaching 3rd grade. The research has showed that you now start at 4th grade where the student is now, and you really accelerate that learning.
He says the district has integrated more technology and they're updating curriculum. They have high goals and expectations.
We're moving forward instead of going backwards, and that's really what we have to do.
As for Sordi and homeschooling her kids, so far, so good.
They're doing well. They're doing well. They just did a placement test and they're thriving.
And just for some context, the state tests evaluate children in 3rd through 8th grade as well as 11th grade, but that doesn't take into account any local assessments that each district may have. By the way, Clark says that he does expect to see improved test scores at the end of this school year. Alex, Heather.
All right, Christina Rendon live for us in the East Bay. Christina, thank you. And